Well, folks, it's time to call out NY1 again because their hypocrisy continues. It seems that a couple days ago they talked about crime, and yet there was a major assault that happened in Brooklyn. Now, if you didn't hear what happened in Brooklyn, a lady was pushed down the escalator at the Atlantic Avenue Barclays Center station. So, very disgusting attack, and at the end of the video, I'll play the Channel 7 report, which Channel 7 did a good job covering it. They spent 2.5 minutes covering it a couple days ago, but I'm first getting to it now because I've been so busy with work and MTA obligations that, this is the first I'm hearing about it, and it happened in an MTA subway station. So, it just comes to show that when the MTA thinks about safety, they really don't care. Alright, they're constantly not realizing that there's a bigger picture that you have to point the finger at City Hall. And letting City Hall get away with not taking responsibility just becomes a bigger issue. So, we're going to go on NY1's website, and I just want to show you the crime section, because, I just try to prove my point here. So here's the public safety section, and nothing was even mentioned in the public safety section. All about Rikers. And again, I know the situation at Rikers is bad. And, I do feel bad for the corrections officers who are getting assaulted, who have to deal with the rough job as it is. I mean, I understand what it's like to be in a rough job, But here we go. Nothing about it. Nothing about it. They're fascinated about that baby who was struck by a car last weekend. But no, you don't see anything about what happened. And if you even go to Brooklyn, go to the Brooklyn section. I have to go to community and neighborhoods to find Brooklyn. To go over here to find it, nothing about it. Nothing. Go down here, nothing. And Channel 2 briefly covered it. I'm not going to show that, but News 12 Brooklyn spent only a few seconds covering it. So we're going to read the Brooklyn paper article, because I feel it's more appropriate that I just read that before we get to the Channel 7 video. Because I don't want to make this too long, but you get the idea that NY1 needs to be called out. And, they got to continue to be criticized, because we have to take back our media. We have to, because we're being censored. We are being censored every single day. It's like with what's going on with News 12 Long Island. They're getting censored. Nobody's talking about the crime in Mid-Island. Because again, you know what's going on with News 12. If any of you watch Pine Power LY, you know what's going on. And I don't even want to get into that situation before I get off topic. So here we go. So there was an assault that happened at the Barclays Center subway station. So this incident happened last week. Happened on September 9th, last Thursday. So what happened was, this person was kicked down the escalator, which is very disturbing. Very, very disturbing. So according to law enforcement sources, the incident happened at about 7:15 p.m. The 32-year-old woman was riding up the escalator at the Atlantic Avenue Barclays Center station. Prior to getting on the escalator, police said the victim got into a verbal exchange with the perpetrator. So this might have been the victim's fault. Possibly. The video shows the Broof muscling his way up the escalator and stepping ahead of the woman. He then turns around and delivers a vicious kick, sending the woman rushing past another rider and down the escalator to the bottom. After delivering the kick, the suspect fled the scene in an unknown direction. The incident was reported to the 78th Precinct and the local transit bureau. So I know downtown Brooklyn very well. The transit bureau over there is at Hoyt Skimmerhorn Street. The woman suffered various cuts and bruises to her back, arms, legs, right knee, and right thigh, as well as trauma to her left ankle. However, police noted she refused medical attention at the scene. So, obviously, we know the contact information for the Crime Stopper, so I'll just get it out, because this person should not be getting away with this. So you can call the Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS 8477. In Español, 888-577-7472, which is pista. The 78th Precinct, I will give you their phone number right now. So we'll just Google it as we are going along on the fly. Phone number for the 78th Precinct is 718-636-6411. So it's right here. Take a note if you need the phone number. Always best to try to contact the precinct because, again, in fact, come to think of it, the 78th Precinct's right by Bergen Street. So I literally know where this precinct is. Right by Flatbush. How convenient's that? Of course the 78th Precinct would show up. Only makes sense. Now, in this area, I will just mention very quickly, and we're going to quickly look this up. I'll show you the closest hospital because I'm just confirming it on my phone here. The closest hospital that would be in this area would be New York Presbyterian Brooklyn. Then you have the Brooklyn Hospital Center. So those are the two closest hospitals that this victim could have gotten medical attention at. And then you got Gotham Health, which I don't know if they would be a trauma center, but most likely Presbyterian Brooklyn does have a trauma center. So that's where this victim likely would have gotten taken. Alright, so there you have it. In fact, let's watch the video for a second, because Channel 7 will play it. Alright, so here we go. Look at that. Kicked right down the escalator. I saw this on Channel 4 a couple days ago. Alright, so they have a clear look at him. I mean, trust me, I would have not gotten after the guy in that situation. What I would have done, I would have literally went back and I would have literally tried rushing over to her and I would have said, "Ma'am, do you need help?" So what I literally would have done was I would have went to the intercom system, because the problem is if you try dialing 911 in a subway station, you don't know how bad signals are. So they have the help point. So that's what I would have done. Because if you chase after the suspect, then you get into your own little situation, and it's not good. So that's what I would have probably done. The focus would have only been on her. So, you are going to hear from the woman who was assaulted. So, here is the video. NJ Burkett did a great job with this report. It seems Channel 7 was the only one that actually cared about this story. I don't know. Well, somewhat 4, but 4, yeah, I couldn't think if 4 did a report on this. 7 did a good job too. So, here's Channel 7 video. That's how we're going to wrap up my commentary. So thank you for watching.
We are hearing tonight for the first time from a woman attacked and kicked down a subway escalator in Brooklyn.
And it was all caught on video. It's just awful. It happened Thursday night near the Barclays Center. New York City police are hoping that surveillance video will help them identify and arrest the attacker.
So does the victim hope that? Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett speaking to the victim. He's live at the scene for us. Newt?
That's right, Bill. This is where it happened. The escalator from the Atlantic Terminal subway station just outside the Barclays Center. And as you can see, it's a long way down. And once she was kicked, she tumbled all the way to the bottom.
I've fallen down stairs before, but I've never fallen down escalators. Escalators are extremely painful.
It happened moments after she stepped off the subway. As she rode up the escalator to the street, a man pushed his way past. The victim told him he should have said, "Excuse me." And in this video, you can see what happens next. He turns around and kicks her down the stairs.
Like, kicked me out of nowhere in my chest, and I just came tumbling down the escalator past everyone all the way to the bottom floor.
The victim is 32 years old and asked us not to use her name or to show her face. But she showed us her injuries, cuts and bruises to her legs and across her arms and back. Police released this surveillance image of the suspect. It happened at 7:15 p.m. last Thursday on the up escalator outside the Barclays Center.
He goes by you, brushes by you, you turn around and say, "Hey."
Say, excuse me. Yeah, it's the New York thing.
And that was it.
Yeah, that was it. And then just out of nowhere, he felt the need to have to kick me down the stairs. You know, like as if I had the audacity to address him and tell him to say, excuse me. In that moment, he felt like he just had to just kick me down.
The victim says the experience has left her traumatized, and she's worried tonight because the suspect remains at large 4 days later.
It was traumatic, it was scary.
Because it just happened out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, and seeing him and also like his physical stature, you know, he looks pretty dangerous, and just being around someone that looks like that makes me feel vulnerable.
Well, the chief of the NYPD's Transit Bureau told transit officials today that although violent felonies in the subway system are up, overall crime in the subways is down.
Out of breaking news near Times Square tonight, where a man was slashed while on the subway. Police say they rushed to 42nd Street Station around 9:30 tonight. This is at 44th and 8th Avenue. They say a dispute between two men escalated. One man slashed on the head on a southbound A train. The victim was taken to the hospital. So far, no arrests have been made.
Right now, police are searching for this man. They say spit on a father and his 4-year-old daughter, then threatened them with a knife. Officers say the man got angry when the father asked him to stop smoking marijuana on the train. This was around 3:30 in the afternoon, September 5th, on a southbound D train approaching the Fordham Road station in the Bronx. The victims got off at Fordham Road. No injuries were reported.